All right, now I've got my drill plugged in, and I'm going to lock the drill in the on position. Oh, that should be on. And now if I turn the Variac up, it starts to rotate. So you can see I've got nice control over my speed. So now I'm going to have to clamp this vise down on this corner and put a little bit of lubricant on my makeshift bearings here. This is the grinding disc for my angle grinder. And the width of it, it's like perfect fit for that groove. I'm tempted to try and use the angle grinder on this thing. Don't know how I'm going to be able to stabilize it. I guess I could try it freehand and see what happens. Alright, going to give this a shot, but I got to get my safety protection devices. I want to get my face shield for this. Alright, the closer I get to the vise, the more stable that it's going to be, but I'm going to start from this end and see how it works out, since this is going to be my first try. And I'm just going to go in a little bit from the end here. This end's not cut correctly anyways, so I'll have to deal with that later. So about there I'll put my first groove. The hard part is starting it. Once it starts, it kind of wants to sit in that groove. So let's shut this off. Better look. That's actually not too bad. It's a little rough, but I can clean that up with a finer grit stone, or maybe even my pattern files might work on that after. I just got to get the bulk of the metal out of there first with the bigger grinder. And I've got this little tiny mic that actually fits in there, so I'll know when I get there, and I'm not quite there yet. Well, that was my first attempt. Not exactly what I was hoping for. I went a little bit too far to this side, so that actually looks like it would be just wide enough, but this is not cut straight on the end here, this rod. So I'm not going to be able to use that first one. But it was a good test run. Get the general idea what I'm trying to do. And so now, if I leave myself a little more meat on there, I want to be down here further. I'll try it again. I'm also going to try putting a new wheel on, because this wheel has a square edge on the back side, and it's got a real nasty rounded over edge there because the kind of grinding I had been doing with this did that to it. So if I put a new one on, it's got a nice square edge on it. The other thing is, these are 36 grit wheels, so if I actually got a wheel like this, same width, with a much finer grit, I could get a much better finish on that surface. Alright, now I'm going to try it with this new wheel on and see how that comes out. Alright, what happens is, this thing's walking back and forth on me. I'm getting a lot of movement this way as I'm trying to dig in. And so I didn't want to be that close to that one, and you can see already I am too close to that, so I've already run into a problem. Now part of that might be just because it's wobbling like this. You know, I'm exaggerating it, but it might be moving like this as I'm trying to grind into it. Don't know. I'm going to try and increase the, I'm going to continue to cut this one just because I'm still trying to feel out how I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue to cut this one, but I'm going to increase the rotational speed of the stock. I'm just getting way too much movement on the end here, too much wobble. And it's causing this to chatter, which is giving me problems keeping this steady, and also it's creating a horrible surface in there. So, of course, that might be addressed by a finer grit stone. I'm going to try one up close to here because I don't expect to get that kind of movement where it's mounted close to my support bearing here. Okay, so what I did is I slid my vise down the bench that way further, and that brings this in closer. So now I can try and do it closer to the support bearing and see what happens. And I want to get some more lubricant on the makeshift bearings here. So let's see. Yeah, that's much better. Can't really see it in the video, but it's not chopping up so bad. And I've actually got the right diameter there right now. So now if I can make a clean cut here later and a clean cut there later, I can actually make my first one out of that. Where's my original? Show you. Well, anyways, so there's an original. Not perfect, but pretty darn good. Now I took my small metal file and I cleaned that up a little bit better, and then I took the very edge of the metal file, and while holding up another piece next to it, I made a mark right there, a groove right there, and I'm going to use that as a guide for when I'm doing my cutting. I was keeping the rotational speed of the stock down low because I felt that would keep it more stable, but the reality is, by increasing the rotational speed of the stock, I'm getting a finer grind. I'm getting a finer surface, a smoother surface there on that inner part. So I think I'm going to keep that speed up where I've got it now. So there's a groove there that I'll be able to cut on both sides of, and I should be able to get one out of there. And then this one that I did first, first successful one, there. This will just end up being waste because those didn't come out right at all. But it looks like this might work. So now I'm going to move my bench vise down that end, slide it a little bit this way to expose more stock so I can do some more. Okay, another little change I made to the process is now I'm using this little miniature caliper. I've got a preset to my my inner diameter that I want, and that makes it a lot quicker for me to check this now. So I don't have to keep worrying about resetting that little micrometer if this moves a little bit, which it does, because this one doesn't lock. So anyways, so now I just did another one there. I'm leaving plenty of room between the two so that I can make a cut in between. That one there, I'm going to clean that up now. And doesn't look too bad. Alright, well now you get the gist of it. And I'm just going to keep doing this, sliding it down and cutting more grooves until I feel I have enough to make a dozen or so of these. Don't know how well the camera's going to shoot through the magnifying glass, but it kind of gives you an idea for the kind of precision we've got here. It's not, certainly not a polished machine surface, but don't forget that's not where the action is. The actual bearing surface is this steel on the outside, which is ground and polished at the factory when they made this drill stock. So that's the reason why we want to use it. One more quick look-see side-by-side comparison. Not bad for freehand work.